so pretty. Too hot. Hotel. Call the police and the fireman. Too hot. Hotel. Make a don't wanna retire, man. Too hot. Hotel. Say my name and know who I am. Too hot. Hotel. I'm a bad pal, down my lyric and tell. Kiss it, hallelujah. Kiss it, hallelujah. Kiss it, hallelujah. Sometime fun, gon' give it to you. Sometime fun, gon' give it to you. Sometime fun, gon' give it to you. Saturday night, we in a spot. Don't be limited squats. 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 Stop. Wait a minute. Fill my cup with some liquor in it.
Take a sip, sign and check.
Julio, get the stretch.
Right to Harlem, Hollywood, Jackson, Mississippi. If we show up, we're gonna show out. Smoother than the fresh drop, skip it.
Too hot.
Hotel,
Call the police and the fireman. Too hot.
hotel,
Make a don't wanna retire, man. Too hot.
hotel,
Say my name, you know who I am. Too hot.
hotel.
I'm a bad ride down, better make it down. Kiss it, hallelujah. Kiss it, hallelujah. Kiss it, hallelujah. It's not time fun, gon' give it to you. It's not time fun, gon' give it to you. It's not time fun, gon' give it to you. Saturday night, we in the spot. Don't be limited spots.
What is happening, ladies and gents? Liquid here and welcoming you to the stream. Kicking things off in a bit of a different style. Playing an amazing cover from a guy who just done a fantastic cover of Toss a Coin to Your Witcher, if I remember right. I might have just screwed that up completely. I thought I'd start the stream off with something a little bit funky. A cover of Bruno Mars' track. That's by Chris Kronos and Elu Perez. I hope I've got that pronunciation right. Absolutely awesome. But we are here to fly the F16. So let's mute the music and let's jump into DCS. Let me get rid of the screen because you can't see what I can see. Yoink! Goodbye screen. Right. So, after doing a few airshow demos with the F16 on the channel, it's been just a livery that we have got in DCS. And I can't even remember the name of the Air Force base, but now we have installed this gorgeous Belgian Air Force livery, which looks absolutely incredible. Let's just take a look from the outside. I mean, look at this. The Dark Falcon livery. Now we are ready to rock and roll. We're going to be doing some airshow practice now. As you can see, the sky above us isn't the greatest. Now that's because we've been trying something a little bit different, and there's a video on the channel tomorrow taking the Mirage into the skies here at Kutaisi to see how we do with a flat show. But now that we've got this livery installed, you know what? I'm going to stream some DCS action. So naturally we have flares on board because it's a Belgian F16 demo. You've got to have the flares, and let's just activate. So let's turn on our nose wheel steering is on. We're gonna get rocking out towards the runway. I hope everyone is well. I hope everyone's fantastic. So I'm not going to do what I done last stream and just continually talk, because when I watched the stream back I really didn't like the sound of my own voice. I just talked and talked and talked, and you didn't really get the chance to hear any of the sounds. So we're going to have a bit more of a chilled stream today. Let me just recenter this. There we go. Now, thanks to DCS, we can change the weather anytime we want. We can add in whatever we want, when we want. And after doing displays in basically clear skies for quite some time, this was the reason behind wanting to try something different. So tomorrow's video on the channel is the Mirage in these conditions. Now we have a cloud ceiling of 5,000 feet. As soon as you go above 5,000-ish, you start to go through the clouds. And that is where visibility is not the greatest. Even at the moment, visibility is not the greatest. But like I say, after flying in clear skies for a lot of the time, I wanted to try something different and do basically a flat show. And let me tell you, the results are quite impressive, because not only do you see the afterburner a lot more in these darker skies, it also gives you basically like a different sort of contrast against the jet. Which I think is really cool. So I'm just quickly checking my control surfaces to make sure everything's good before we head into the sky. I just adjust my throttle sensitivity, and we're going to get going here. Just holding there, just below 90% RPM, around about 85, and let's go. Let's get this beautiful beast into the skies. Not going to put the afterburner on just yet. Nose wheel steering goes off. Pull back on the stick and rotate. We are up. Gears coming up. Let's light that afterburner. Here we go. And let's begin the show. Still amazes me how quick this thing turns. Absolutely incredible.
Altitude.
Coming just over the runway again then, keeping the afterburner lit. And we're going to pull harder now as we bank in towards the runway. Afterburner off.
Altitude. Altitude.
And up we go. Up and over. See the speed starting to drop off there.
Pull up.
And we're just going to hold her here cranked over. Up and over we go again then. Don't want to go too high. Like I say, we do have a cloud ceiling of 5,000 feet. So if we do go above that, the crowd isn't going to see anything. Just going to hold, crank, roll and pull.
Pull up.
Trying not to bleed too much speed off the jet.
Altitude. Altitude.
And once we get level, I'm going to start a series of aileron rolls. Crank it a little bit. Over we go. Over, snap and pull. Back off on the afterburner. Come around just a little bit wide there, but it's okay.
Altitude. Pull up.
And the slow aileron roll, the snap, and a pull once again. Really cranking the F16 over here.
Altitude. Altitude.
Gonna head diagonally away from the airfield. Just gonna hold here for a second. And up she goes.
Cat flare.
Deploy the flare. Up and over. And there we go, the flares are out. Because you can't have a Belgian demo without the flares. And just the performance of this thing once again. We're back off on the afterburner. And we're gonna position the aircraft for our high alpha pass, where you slow her right down.
Pull up.
So I'm going to deploy the air brakes. We're just going to get a little bit of height. Bring that nose up just a little bit.
Altitude. Altitude.
Air brakes back in. See the jet starting to shake a little bit here. That's okay though. Just maintaining that turn. Moving the throttle back and forward. And backing off on the throttle just a little bit as we approach the runway. Bring the nose up higher. A little higher. There we go. Getting a little bit of resistance there. We have, oh, we almost went offline. We're okay. We're okay. I thought I was going way off my line for a second there. Just had to quickly check. And once we're clear, afterburner on. And we're just going to hold the aircraft here to build up some speed once again. Slowly rolling her over. Keep the afterburner cranked. Keeping the afterburner cranked, building that speed.
Altitude.
High performance. And pull. Right in front of the crowd, showcasing that incredible high G loading the F16 has.
Cat
We're
flare.
going to flare once again. On with the afterburner. Hello, Bebo.
Altitude. Altitude.
Once again, coming back towards the crowd line. Just going to hold that turn here. Coming in nice and low. Now we're going to reposition for an inverted pass. We're just going to hold here. Back off on the throttle. Deploy the air brakes. Quick turn. Just to bleed off some speed. Slowing the aircraft down. Yes, yes.
Altitude. Altitude.
And over we go. Oh. That was not the smoothest of rolls. Just holding her here. I'm a little bit annoyed about that. That should have been much smoother. And we're just going to hold her cranked. Dip the nose a little bit towards the runway once again. And pull. We're going to reposition on the other side of the runway.
Bingo.
Getting our bingo fuel warning. That's okay though. To get dizzy with my flying, yeah. No one else went to the store. You should kick some butt. Now we're just going to hold the throttle just above idle. We still have 40 flares left. So as we position the aircraft
Altitude.
in the middle of the
Altitude.
airfield, just going to raise the nose ever so slightly and hesitation roll. Full afterburner, quick climb,
Flat flare.
flare, roll over, and up we go again. You see the flares deploying.
Low. Out. Pull up.
And to
Pull
finish
up.
off the display, coming in very, very
Pull
low.
up. Altitude. Altitude.
Throttle to idle. Aileron roll at the end of the runway. Whoa, the nose is shaking so much. Unip. Yeah, I said at the start of the stream, Alex. Basically, I set up DCS, the weather for this scenario, to be basically have a ceiling of 5,000 feet to experiment with different weather conditions. I really cannot wait to get like a track IR system instead of having to use this hat on the top of my joystick. It would just make looking around so much easier. So now is the time where I can actually watch the track back to see how this looks in this condition. Also going to deploy the air brakes to bleed off some more speed because we're still quite fast here.
Altitude. Altitude.
Gears coming down. 3 green lights, that's what we want. Put the air brakes back up. And we're just going to hold her here and let her glide in. A little bit of throttle management, but it's okay, we don't need to do too much because we were quite fast on the approach. Oh. Should be us now, there we go.
Altitude. Altitude. Altitude.
Let's get that nose back up.
Altitude. 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 Altitude.
Deploy the air brakes a little bit. And as the nose drops fully. Enjoy Siege, mate. I hope you have a good one. No, I'm not going to go too far. Now I can watch it from the ground to see. Let's just turn on our nose wheel steering. Clear the runway. Now I think I set this particular jet up with 70% fuel. And I think that would be about right. Because I'm trying to reduce the display times and try and cram in some more stuff. How's our fuel? Oh, not too bad, not too bad. Between 1,400 and 1,500 pounds. Anyway, let's quit this. We're going to watch it back to see just how this amazing F16 looks in this livery. So first things first, let me get to the correct airfield because that's always important. Good to see. How are you? Let's get rid of this screen. Let's position our camera. Let's position it here. Just gonna fast forward it a little bit till we get the F16 coming towards the runway. Eventually. I do hear an engine. And I do see the light. There she is. So if we lock onto the jet, let's zoom in on the hangar. Yes, what a beautiful hangar that is. This is a fantastic view. I'm showing you amazing views right now. But yeah, this livery just looks absolutely amazing. The next one I want to try and find is one of the Netherlands Air Force demos. And it was actually the Royal Netherlands Air Force was the very first F16 demo that I ever seen. And I actually still have the signed sticker from the pilot. An amazing display in 2001, 2002 and 2003, if I do remember right. Gandalf is in the house, ladies and gents. We have been blessed. Nep has deserted us for Siege, but here we are. So this is as far as I can zoom in at the moment. I am going to increase the volume of DCS just a little bit so we can hear some more of this glorious fly past action. Amazing views of a stone, yeah. It's these new stealth hangars that we have in DCS. You can't see them from the air. So yeah, do bombing practice. What are we bombing? We're bombing hangars. And the planes returned after their mission an hour later. And they still had their bombs. It's like, why didn't you drop bombs? We couldn't see the hangars. They were stealthy. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing like I was about to say playing Gandalf, playing Battlefield to just hear those sounds in game. But speaking of sounds, the F16 is on its takeoff roll. Here we go then. Should be cool to see what it looks like in these conditions. Especially with the afterburner and the flares. There she goes. And up she goes. Beautiful vapor effect. Cranking that little beauty over. Dad jokes indeed, yeah. Ah, she looks amazing. See just how fast she's turning. Coming back in low. Sometimes it's actually quite hard to see just how quickly the jet is turning when you're so zoomed in. So when you do zoom out, you get that perspective of just how fast and how powerful the F16 is on the turn. Incredible aircraft. I'm still like super geeky fanboy that we have this in DCS now. So heading back towards greyish skies. See the vapor effect on the wings. That looks awesome. Vapor trailing off. The afterburner behind it just looks awesome in that sky. things go eerily quiet at certain points before the noise returns. Showcasing that famous turn-in performance once again. And now the flares up and over. Cranking that F16 once again, up and over the top. I really am loving the moisture effects and the vapor effects in these darker skies, especially with the glow of the afterburner. Air brakes deployed. This was coming up for the high alpha pass. Because one of the most impressive things about the F16 display that I remember was just the sheer performance, how fast the thing would climb, how incredibly tight it would turn and just sustain speed. But then the pilot would just reposition the aircraft and then all of a sudden it's pointing its nose to the sky, coming past you really, really slow. It's a maneuver I really enjoy practicing in the F16 and the Hornet. The Hornet, it's a little bit easier in terms of holding the nose, but you do have to do a lot of throttle manipulation, moving the throttle back and forward to maintain the speed, because you're basically holding the aircraft on the point of stalling. I was a bit too close into the runway for this one. I should have been a bit further out and a little bit lower as well. But then once you clear the runway at the other side, afterburner comes back on. So yeah, the Hornet, you can basically just hold your joystick at basically the right angle. You don't need to really trim it at all, making little adjustments up and down just to hold the nose, but you do a lot of throttle manipulation. Whereas with the F16, you basically hold the stick in a position and then tiny little throttle movements is all you need. Because it's such a powerful engine that you don't need a lot of throttle movement to basically keep it going. Chucking out the flares once again then. One thing that they introduced recently onto the F16 flight, well, basically into the F16, was the wing flex. So you will see at certain points when, especially in turning, if you're pulling a lot of G's in tight turns, you will see the wings start to flex, which looks absolutely awesome. You can see there a little deploy of the air brakes just to slow the aircraft down a little bit before we bank her over and bring her back towards the runway. What was your question, Alex? Did I miss your question? Never mind my question. Amazing views of a stone. I don't see any other question. This was for the inverted pass that I screwed up the rollover. Yeah, you sort of see the wings a little bit there. Just on the crank. You might see it here as well. Not sure why I went so far out on this one. I can't zoom in anymore. I'm at the limit of my zoom. Dang it. More zoom, please. More zoom. And the hesitation roll. Over, over, and over. Deploying the final flares of the airshow and the display. And the fast fly pass. Look at that shake. Holy moly. And that wrapped up our display there, finishing with the hesitation roll and the fast pass. Now I'm just going to take a little sip of my iron brew whilst I watch this ridiculously long landing. So I'm just going to speed it up a little bit. Pardon me. Move the undercarriage down. Because I almost screwed up the landing. But I never like landing at too much of an angle when it comes to the F16. See, I just added a little bit of power just before touchdown there. And then I had to slowly correct it. There we go, down she comes. So not too much of a mistake. The livery just looks absolutely amazing. Anyway, that's gonna wrap up that one. Let's quit, let's fly again, let's do one more. Let's click that beautiful fly again button. Button. Yes, we're clicking the button. So we wait for DCS to load back up. Oh no, I've clicked the track. What a noob. So let's just take control. Make sure our program is on. Yes. Okay, we're good to go once again. Let's get back into the sky. And let's try and be a bit more smooth. Let's try and be a bit more precise with our stick movements. And let's get rocking and rolling once more. Let's not go too quickly on the turn because I don't want to tip the aircraft over. Never a good thing. Slow, gentle turn towards the runway. Okay. A little bit of braking pressure. So we're not turning onto the runway at a super high speed. Because I don't want the F16 to tip over. So as we line up once more for our second practice flight, We're going to try a different takeoff this time. There we go. Okay, we're all set. Let's get this beauty into the air once again. Holding power, holding, and rolling. Gonna turn off our nose wheel steering in a second. There we go. Nose wheel steering off. Afterburner on. Gears coming up. I'm gonna hold her low, stay low. Build that speed, and here we go.
Altitude. Altitude.
Up and over. Keep the afterburner lit. Just holding her over in a corkscrew. Disable the afterburner. Yes, yes, don't you worry. And we're just going to hold the aircraft cranked at this angle. Pulling.
Altitude. Altitude.
Afterburner on, let's crank it once more. Up and over. Roll. Back level. And up we go. Not too high, not too high. I don't want to go up into the clouds. Just going to hold it there. As we come back down towards the runway, we're going to go straight in for our inverted pass this time. And mix things up from the first display.
Altitude.
Let's try and be a bit more precise on the roll. Overrolled that time. Not too bad though. Not too bad. That's what practice is for. Yes, yes. The beep of destiny, yeah. As we crank her over once again. Pulling 9 Gs.
Altitude.
Gonna back off on the
Altitude.
afterburner. Throttle to idle and just hold her cranked here.
Tap. Flare.
Deploying the flares as we go up and over the top. Hold for a second, roll. There's a nice snappy roll, and then come back down towards the runway here.
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
Kick of turbulence
Altitude.
there.
Altitude.
And the vice versa rolls, going one way and then the other way. And up. A little over roll again. Not gonna go too high. Oh, we're up in the clouds. Yeah, see that was just dipped above 5,000 there. And
Pull up.
now we're going to go for the
Pull up.
0.95 Mach
Pull up.
fly past.
Pull up. Altitude. Altitude.
Almost on the speed of sound. Whoa, the kick. She's shaking 0.94, 0.95, throttle to idle, and up we pull. bleeding off the speed, just holding her, trying not to go into the clouds, keeping it just under the clouds. And as we deploy our air brake, gone from a very, very fast pass just below the speed of sound
Altitude. Altitude.
Gonna keep bringing that nose up, keep bringing that nose up. Now we're just gonna hold it at 25 degrees. A little bounce on the front, but it should be okay. And just making tiny throttle movements. Just gonna hold her there for a second. Wait till we clear the runway. Afterburner on, full throttle. We're gonna let the speed build. Yes, yes.
Altitude. Altitude.
Yeah, I thought I might have started that turn a little bit too quickly. Well, certainly the roll, but because of the performance you have from this thing,
Altitude.
it saved me. Coming in for the slalom this time. Just cranking and cranking on with the afterburner again. And around. Really, really pushing it. As we come back towards the crowd centre. Oh, I really screwed that up. That's horrible.
Altitude.
Ah, I didn't trim at all there. That's really bad. Really, really bad.
Altitude. Altitude. Pull up. Pull up.
I'm not happy with that at all. Much better on the invert there. And over we go.
Chat. Flare. Bingo. Bingo.
Okay, that's not the reset button I thought it was. Just
Altitude.
holding the F16 almost on a
Altitude.
spiral
Pull up.
there.
Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up.
And then we're going to come back with one more final pass with a wing wave for the crowd. Crank up the throttle just a little bit here. And there we go. We still have 40 flares
Altitude.
left.
Altitude. 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 Altitude.
A wing wave
Altitude. Altitude.
from me to thee. As we get lower and lower.
Pull up. Pull
Crank
up.
the afterburner one more time. Up we
Pull
go. Hold for a second
Cat
and flare. There's our fuel. Okay. Coming
Low.
up into the clouds there.
Out. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Pull up. Altitude. Altitude.
I'm going to deploy the air brakes just to bleed off a little bit of speed. And we're going to set ourselves up for a landing. Yes, yes. I absolutely hate that beep. Still haven't learned what it is yet. Could be something really important, but yeah.
Altitude.
Three
Altitude.
green. Let's get our nose up.
Altitude. Altitude. Altitude.
And we're down.
Altitude. Altitude.
Jeez, finally down. Felt like it took forever to actually get her to just a touchdown there. Full air brakes. And on the brakes now as well. I switch on our nose wheel steering. Pardon me. Air brakes closed. A bit more braking. And we are down once again. Okay, let's stop here a second. In between so basically £1,400 this time. Okay, cool. Right, one more time. Let's watch it back, and then that'll wrap this up. Be honest, I'm not too happy with my flying this time. Let's position our camera. Let's unzoom that a little bit. Let's change positions. Let's go a little bit further back. Do some more experimentation. And can I lock onto the jet yet? No, I can't. Okay. Here she comes. And let's zoom in. Fast forward it a little bit more. I can't remember the author of this skin, but they've done an absolutely amazing job. A quick check of the control surfaces again. But yeah, tomorrow's video on the channel is flying the Mirage in these conditions. And she's on the takeoff roll. Let's zoom out a little bit. I don't want to be too zoomed in this time. More aggressive takeoff this time. A little bit similar to the Viper demo team of the United States Air Force takeoff on the Saturday at the Royal International Air Tattoo. He really cranked that thing on takeoff. That's always an inspiration when it comes to doing an impressive takeoff in the F16. Once again, you get those impressive vapor and afterburner glows. They just look so much more vivid across a darker sky. I am looking forward to flying some of the other jets in these same conditions to see just how they look as well. Excuse me. See just how close we did actually cut that there. Rolling over at a lower altitude than I probably should have, but see the cranking on the wings when the wings actually start to flex. Such an awesome feature that they've added into DCS is the wing flex. Especially when you're actually carrying armament, like if you have missiles loaded up or bombs, and you're even pulling just a little bit of G. If you look back, you can see the wings just flexing so much. So we just held the F16 and almost like a spiral. Really get to see the detail on that skin when it is zoomed in, flying past quite slowly. Absolutely amazing job. So wrapping up the display there with a wing wave. The Dark Falcon. Looking amazing in these dark skies. Afterburner gets cranked once again for the final flare. Just dipping up below the clouds there. Just gonna fast forward it onto the landing. Now we actually have landing lights in DCS. Well, landing lights on the F16 now at least. Something we never used to have before. Not at least when the F16 was released anyway. And a nice smooth touchdown there. Holding the nose up. Keeping the nose up. Almost like a wheelie down the runway. As the nose comes down, we deploy the air brakes fully this time. Well, there we go, ladies and gents. That is going to wrap up our stream. A couple of practice flights. Not 100% happy with the practice flights, but I do want to get to know the F16 a bit better. But yeah, I really appreciate everyone that has hung around. Your support is massively appreciated. But like I say, that is going to wrap up the stream. We will be back for some more DCS action very soon. Don't forget, there is a DCS video on the channel tomorrow where we take the mighty Mirage into these dark skies. Things don't quite go according to plan at the ending though. Actually, I am telling a complete lie. Tomorrow, it's not a Mirage video. It's a DCS fails video. Because I haven't posted a fails video at all, which is something I did promise. So yeah, tomorrow's video on the channel is a fails video. But anyway, a massive thank you to everyone, as always, for watching. I will catch you next time, but until then, as always, please do take care. Please do take care, yeah. Take care and stay safe. This is Liquid, signing off.
I think the girls with their nails done now.